Whoever believed that Jake Paul was going to win, that was an absolute fairy tale.
Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua is over. Thank God it's over. What a joke of a fight.
From the minute he got into that ring, to get on the back foot and just start running around, it was quite pathetic, to be honest with you.
There was never a world in which Jake Paul was going to beat Anthony Joshua.
Jake Paul was decisively dismantled by boxing experts following his embarrassing loss to Anthony Joshua. What began as a pretty boy experiment ended the moment confidence collided with true heavyweight power. This was not just a defeat. It was a harsh reminder of what happens when hype meets elite-level boxing reality.
He's an idiot. There is no reason.
If Anthony Joshua puts 10-ounce gloves on and gets in a boxing ring and Jake Paul is in the other corner, this won't last long. This will last as long as Josh wants it to last.
Let's be honest. This outcome was never surprising. Anyone with a basic understanding of boxing could see where this was headed. For years, Jake Paul moved to the sport like a visitor collecting highlights, not challenges.
You can't lose to a guy that's perceived to be a YouTuber, even though today...
The pattern was clear. Retired mixed martial artists, former champions well past their prime, and even athletes whose primary sport had nothing to do with boxing. Loud promotion, viral moments, selective matchmaking, and constant claims about changing the sport define the journey.
Jake Paul is concerned because that's not boxing. He was just trying to survive. And when you try to survive in a fight, then the other guy can't knock you out because you're not looking to win.
Then 2025 arrived, and suddenly Jake Paul was standing across the ring from Anthony Joshua, a former unified heavyweight champion, Olympic gold medalist, and a fighter shaped by real battles at the highest level.
Balls. Dude's got balls standing there with AJ, who had been off, so his chin is refreshed. He's ready to fight.
Joshua entered the fight with over 25 professional wins, multiple heavyweight title reigns, and resumed that began with Olympic gold at London 2012. Paul entered with 13 professional bouts, none against active or former heavyweight champions, and none that demanded elite defensive discipline.
You get paid $90 million to just survive? He just survived. Like he just ran around the ring.
The contrast was obvious. From the opening bell, Joshua controlled distance like a man who had spent over a decade mastering it. He set traps, dictated pace, and allowed Paul to waste energy chasing moments that never materialized. The size difference told part of the story. The experience gap told the rest. Paul talked about statements and knockouts. Joshua simply went to work.
Anthony Joshua is trying to find him. As the fight goes longer, all those big actions, the shots, the big overhand right, all those things were starting to fatigue Paul.
The early rounds were quiet in the way dangerous situations often are. Joshua stayed patient and composed, letting the ring slowly close in on Paul. Jake tried to project confidence, but his footwork told another story. Retreating, resetting late, reacting instead of leading. This is where reality arrives in heavyweight boxing. When the knockout came, it shocked no one who'd been honest about the matchup.
You know, you're gonna get knocked out anyway, dude. Like, I was hoping I could say, you know what, because he earned the respect of boxing fans by going out on his shield. Guy just ran for his life. I just watched Jake Paul run for his life for like 5-6 rounds.
I try to be responsible. I've been in this game 50 years, so I know where not to step, where you could twist an ankle, or worse, you could break.
One of the first analysts to respond was Teddy Atlas, whose message stayed consistent with his pre-fight warnings. Heavyweight fundamentals are unforgiving. At lighter weights, mistakes can sometimes be survived.
Never tried to win a second of the fight. He was trying to throw a home run punch every once in a while. And notice every time he got in the clinch, he just went down. Like he just hugged Anthony Joshua and then like would go down and the referee would call it a slip and give him a break. And like he would just kill time that way.
At heavyweight, mistakes are punished immediately. Atlas explained that without elite defensive habits, the division itself becomes the opponent. You're not just facing a man, you're fighting physics, mass leverage, timing, and consequences. Jake Paul had never experienced that world before this fight.
The way you beat a guy like that, you're not going to outbox him. If you're waiting on him and he's initiating and he's feinting you into counters and then he's countering the counter.
Even while I think a heavyweight has a chance in any fight, a puncher's chance, I don't think Jake Paul has anything for Anthony Joshua.
Do you respect him for taking it?
Yeah, you have to because that's terrifying. Like that.
Carl Froch offered no diplomacy. He reminded audiences that Paul had already lost to Tommy Fury, a cruiserweight who never reached British title level. That loss alone revealed Paul's ceiling. Struggling there and jumping straight to a heavyweight champion was not ambition. It was denial. Froch emphasized that boxing progression exists for a reason. You don't skip levels in a sport built to punish shortcuts.
Down twice. I thought the fight was going to be over because he was going to knock him down again.
The physical statistics only reinforced the criticism. Joshua carried over a 100-pound weight advantage on fight night, along with a reach edge of more than 6 inches. That is not trivia. That is control. Control of distance, exchanges, and the timing of violence.
Honestly, what do you want the guy to do? I mean, this guy ran for his life in a 22 by 22 foot ring. That ring was huge. That ring was huge.
Experts were quick to dismiss the popular puncher's chance argument. At heavyweight, that logic only applies when both fighters possess high-level defense. When one doesn't, a puncher's chance becomes a puncher's risk.
It looked like that was the moment he was going to throw in the towel and say, you know what, I'm done, I'm injured, I'm hurt, I don't want to do that. But hats off to him, he got up and he kept fighting. We get to the 6th round and you can just tell that it's over.
Betting markets reflected this reality long before the first bell. Joshua entered as a massive favorite, with odds suggesting well over an 85% chance of victory. This wasn't disrespect. It was mathematics. The market saw what the hype tried to hide. Size, skill, experience, and history still matter. Confidence alone doesn't change probabilities.
In my life, I think my jaw is broken, by the way, so... Yeah. Let's go! It's definitely broke. But,
After the knockout, attention turned to the punch itself. Comparisons quickly surfaced to Joshua's 2024 knockout of Francis Ngannou, which ended in under 3 rounds. Ngannou had never been knocked out before that fight. Joshua did it cleanly and efficiently. Analysts noted that Joshua's right hand travels close to 40 miles per hour, elite speed for a heavyweight of size. When that punch lands, careers pause.
But Joshua just ate that. And I think when Anthony saw he could take those punches and they could really do no damage to him, it even boosted his confidence more. Because then he got even more reckless in his approach to getting after Paul.
Paul's technical flaws only worsened the outcome. He failed to adjust after early feints, walked into counters, exited straight back, and reacted too late. Commentators agreed that if the same right hand that stopped Ngannou landed on Paul, there was no version of this fight that ended differently. That wasn't trash talk. It was anatomy. Johnny Nelson summarized it best. Anthony Joshua does not play touch boxing at any level. That wasn't an insult. It was a technical truth. Joshua doesn't toy with opponents. When he commits fully. His style has always been about control, followed by damage. Exhibition mentality has never existed in his ring habits. If you step in with him wearing 10-ounce gloves, you accept the consequences.
You knew that Anthony Joshua was going to eventually land something that hurt Jake Paul. And you know how you know the boxing world wanted it to be brutal? Because Rosendo was sitting here and he goes, I hope he gets knocked out bad.
Even the business argument failed to soften the criticism. Simon Jordan was particularly blunt, calling the challenge absurd regardless of financial upside. He acknowledged the commercial success, but separated it from sporting reality. Money, he argued, does not justify ignoring competitive legitimacy.
Punching heavyweight, and fake Paul's never been in with a heavyweight. Like I said earlier, he lost to Tommy Fury, a cruiserweight. He lost to him. Tommy Fury's not even British level. So you can't chuck fake Paul in with Anthony Joshua and take it seriously.